Good morning from Minnesota, everybody. That's where I'm calling in from here. Thanks for joining us for today's community coffee break. We'll pause for a minute here and let a few other people join us. John, Courtney, good morning.
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 I heard something about a Red Bull special in your last call, John. Or is that what you're sipping on right now?
No, I haven't. The coffee shop doesn't open until 5:45, and I've been on meetings since 5:30, so I haven't had a chance to run yet.
Okay. You don't make it at home, you pick it up from the coffee shop. Nice.
Yeah.
There's a chat feature on the side for those of you who are already with us here. Under the chat feature, feel free to chime in with either where you're tuning in from around the world or what you're sipping on this morning. We'd love to see. I'm already on to water. I've had my 2 cups of coffee this morning already. I start pretty early.
I think John still has you beat on the early.
Yeah, no, agreed. All right. My name is Matt Wieland. I am the Integrated Marketing Manager here at Recast Software. Been here just shy of 2 years at this point. And I'll be introducing the webinar today before handing it over to Courtney and John for the main portion of the webinar. A few details before we dig in with Courtney and John, our presenters today. This session is being recorded. A link will be sent out to all of you after the fact in case you want to circle back on anything in this conversation. Within the console in front of you, you have access to some downloadable content. Feel free to check that out. If any of you have not seen the Recast Academy yet, I believe you have a link to the Recast Academy in front of you. I highly recommend that. We actually have a right-click tools certification built into the Academy, and it's a good way, if you're a community user, to see a few more of the features kind of up close and personal as well that are offered in the enterprise version. We also have the chat feature I mentioned earlier. If you just tuned in the last 30 seconds here, check out the chat feature and the Q&A feature. So if you have any questions, please punch them into the Q&A section. We will get to them after the main presentation today, or we should be able to. Lastly, we have a $100 gift card that we're giving away after the event today. You get 1 entry for attending today, so everybody's name is in the hat. If you participate in the polls or the Q&A section, you get your name thrown in the hat additional times for participating in those parts of the webinar. On the agenda today, I'll give a very brief intro to Recast Software. We'll dig into the demo with Courtney. I'm not going to list off all those things there. I'll let her dig into those when the time is right. And we also want to give you guys a section or a little bit of time to give us some feedback on upcoming coffee break topics. A little bit about Recast. As a company created by sysadmins, we know that managing endpoints is hard. Right-click tools was originally created to simplify the work of sysadmins who were toiling away within Configuration Manager. It was actually created as an in-house project to help ourselves, our original founders, and then the free tools were shared more broadly. As you can see, we now have 70,000 sysadmins around the world using right-click tools, the community version, on a monthly basis. Thousands of companies today are customers of Recast Software using our broader suite of tools. We now have a suite that includes third-party patching, privileged access management, and some other software tools as well. Recast, we strive to help you increase your compliance numbers, automate tasks on many fronts, including third-party patching that I already referenced, and we strive to provide admin rights controls that are simple and intuitive to use to help you harden your environments. Our speakers today, we have Courtney and John with us, and I'll let you both introduce yourselves. John, if you could start, then we'll hand off to Courtney.
So, hi everyone. My name is John Yoakum. I have been a sysadmin for over 20 years. Prior to joining Recast, I was in higher ed, where I was the primary subject matter expert for Config Manager, managing over 10,000 devices across the entire state of Alaska.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I am also a solutions engineer. I am the team lead here at Recast. I've been a sysadmin for a number of years. I've actually used the right-click tools before I started working here. So I've been in some of your shoes, used the tools. And so I will be showing you kind of some tips and tricks for using the right-click tools community today.
Excellent. Thank you guys for joining us. Before we dig into the demo, on the screen here, you should be able to select more than one answer. The question is, which topics would you like to see in future coffee break sessions with Courtney or John or some of our other sysadmins here at Recast Software? Please select as many as you're interested in potentially seeing. I would also throw out there, if anybody has additional ideas beyond these on the screen, you could certainly drop those into the attendee chat as well. We'd be open to all ideas. Give a few more seconds. I see just over half of you have submitted at this point. All right, thank you very much. As I scroll through here, looks like automation capabilities is the #1 recommendation. Third-party patching, dig into that a bit, is #2. And then we've got a equal number of people interested in some custom script, looking at custom scripts or admin rights management. Awesome, thank you for the feedback, appreciate it greatly. And with that, we can dig into the demo. All you, Courtney.
Awesome, thanks, Matt. Get my screen shared here. So for the right-click tools community, I know we've been having a few sessions here for all of you that are watch some of the other ones, and we've kind of been in like devices and applications. But today I wanted to start off actually in endpoint insights, and in community, this is accessible for community. We actually give you access to some config manager native reports. So if you've maybe never checked out, there's this section here that comes with community where we brought in some of the config manager native reports. And the fun thing about these is I'm going to select this report here, and we'll get this running. And it pulls up, you might have seen this report if you've run it in config manager. It gives you kind of a summary of what is in your collection you selected. I just selected all systems. And with this kind of report, you can actually go ahead and click on a device, and you have right-click tool actions in here. So if you're using community, you would have access to the right-click tools community options, even if you don't have endpoint insights. If you have the enterprise, you would have access to the enterprise version of the right-click tools from here. And so for, visibility and inventory, we could see a bunch of information here. And say I wanted to clear some disk space. I noticed this VM has low disk space, so I want to go ahead and open one of my favorite tools, which is under console tools, and it's called system information. If you haven't checked it out, it has so much great information in here that allows you to see kind of what your device looks like as a whole. And, for the space issue, maybe I want to get rid of some user profiles in this case. They're taking up space. I can see that I have my own account on this device. It's the one I have over here in this other tab, and I am currently logged in. So maybe I don't want to get rid of that user profile, but maybe someone else hasn't logged in a while. Maybe it's been a month, so maybe I feel comfortable getting rid of, in this case, Fabian's user profile. So I can actually select it and go ahead and delete that user profile off of this device. It also works well for if any user profile is broken. So I worked at a place where the help desk would try to save space by deleting the user profile folder, but nothing else. So then you would have a broken profile, and it would cause a mess, temp profiles, things like that. And so if you see, one of these boxes unchecked, it most likely means that there's it's a broken profile and it's going to cause issues. So you can also get rid of it by deleting it from here as well. Or if maybe someone left the company, stuff like that, you can help clean up, save space. Some of the other features of system information is our local group members. Our local group members can actually show you what's in your groups on that device. You can see like maybe remote desktop users, see who's in that group, or even administrators. Maybe someone's not supposed to be there. Maybe I don't want this account in here. So I could go ahead and select and remove it. Maybe it's, it might be a security risk to have something that's not supposed to be there. Maybe I want to make sure, kind of tighten up security. So I could actually right click on this device and pull up our security tools. And in our remote window security, we actually have access to this defenders. So to make this device more secure, maybe I want to kick off like a full scan. It's been a month. So I could go ahead and kick off a full scan, or maybe I just want to do a quick scan or just update those definitions if I've made changes. You can actually do that from here. Kick off that scan is successful, and I can know that this device is a little bit more secure than it might have been a few minutes ago. And you can just see some great defender information as, client version, engine, things like that. Going back to system information, we have some other great information you can see here. We have batteries, but this is a VM, so it has no battery information. You can check on our website what it would look like if you do have batteries, but unfortunately, I cannot show you that in our virtual environment. Under operating systems, not only can you see what the operating system, what version, you can also see some information down here that I like to look at, like pending restart. So if, maybe it's just you need to get your compliance numbers up and it's really just pending a restart and that's why it hasn't finished installing, you can see that here, and you can go ahead and then, remediate it if you want. Maybe it is pending a restart, so I could actually go ahead and hit restart system, or maybe schedule it to sometime in the middle of the night so I can, maybe not interfere with someone working. I can also see last restart time. So it's been, about 15 days, 15, 20 days since the last time it restarted. Maybe someone's like, oh yeah, I just restarted, it didn't fix my issue. And you're like, I can see right here that you did not indeed restart. So, we can maybe use that to fix your issue, things like that. We have applications. And what this applications is closer to what's actually like installed. So more like programs and features where you see what's actually installed on a device, and you get some information about it, including when it was installed on, the or what date it was installed on, the version. You can see also the uninstall string. So if you're building your own applications in Config Manager, you can grab that uninstall string pretty quickly here. Or if maybe you notice that there is this bad version of 7-zip in this case, I can go ahead and actually kick off an uninstall. Maybe they're not supposed to have that application. Maybe security said there's a vulnerability in it and you just want to get rid of it. We can go ahead and actually kick off an uninstall on that device and get rid of that application. We have Windows updates as well, where you can actually see the Windows updates that are installed, when they got installed, If you want to make sure that a device is covered, you can search the KB article. Any of these boxes up here are searchable. So you can look for a specific update if you need to. We also have services where you can actually see what a service is currently doing. So this service startup mode is manual, status is stopped. Maybe I need to change that. I can start the service. Maybe I need to restart it. Maybe it's just causing issues. I can do that all remotely from here pretty quickly. I can also change the startup type, so automatic, disable, or manual. So I'll use this for remote registry. Sometimes it's disabled, so I need to change it to automatic, do whatever I need to do in the registry, and then I will disable it when I'm done. We also have our drivers, where you can actually see all the drivers that are installed on a device. You can see driver versions, if it's signed, the device ID, just some great information about what's actually installed on that device as far as drivers go. There's quite a bit of drivers on here. If you're looking for anything specific, I always search for things. And then the last kind of topic I'll talk about is our hardware. So for community, this one is, it is a virtual machine, so it's not super interesting. Well, we have our MAC address and serial number. You can also see like BIOS version and BIOS release date. So for those devices that are physical devices, you can get some information about that from this window. But if you actually have the enterprise version of the right-click tools, you actually get access to our hardware and firmware audit. So that dashboard showed the BIOS version and things like this, but if you want more of a holistic view, we have, I've moved on to our enterprise version of right-click tools. This is our hardware and firmware audit. It shows you by default your chassis type, manufacturer, and model. So I can select anything here to see, what devices you have. You have the ability to select any of these and take action against them. You have the ability to actually export to CSV as well. Any model I want to particularly look at, I can do that. What we might not have noticed is we have this select charts. So we actually have some additional charts that you can select as well. So if you want to check out UEFI status, secure boot, or in this case, maybe BIOS version. So instead of looking at system information for the BIOS version, kind of one at a time, you can just see all the different BIOS versions you have in your environment. So I can select any of these and, maybe for a particular BIOS version, maybe it has a vulnerability in it, maybe you need to remediate, maybe it's old, whatever have you. You can get that list of the BIOS versions. What's also neat about this dashboard is I can deselect some charts. I can also use what we call nested filtering. So maybe I don't care about chassis, so I unselected that chart, but I want to use nested filtering, so I only want to look at, let's look at just our HP devices. So I can see all the different HP devices I have in my environment, and it's removed anything else since I didn't select any other category. So maybe I want to look at our minis, or maybe this category with 91 devices in it, and I can see all the different BIOS versions I have for this Elite book in this case. So I'm narrowing down what model I have so that I can make sure I'm getting, maybe the right drivers or BIOS versions or firmware updates for these particular devices. So these are all the same model. In this case, they happen to have all the same BIOS versions. I've worked with a few customers that these charts can be so colorful because a lot of people just don't worry about it, or just keep whatever version came when you got that device from the manufacturer, things like that. So this allows you that customization, narrowing down what exactly you're looking for without the hassle of, maybe writing a report, queries, things like that. which kind of brings me on to our next subject, which is queries. So say if I am, I want something specific, I want to make a quick a query. If we go into our monitoring and queries, we might have a few more queries if you use them quite often. One of our kind of lesser known right-click tools is our quick query tool. And then what that allows you to do is, select a query. If you guys aren't familiar, if you run it, you get over here. If I need to make changes, I can search for my username. I get up the results. If I wanted to change who I want to look at, I have to, like refresh or rerun the query to get the new pop-up or rerun the query. But with Quick Query tool, we can actually go ahead and pull up that query. You get the language of it, and I can make changes. So if I happen to not quite, spelled it wrong, I forgot the %sign. Oh, now I can go ahead and just modify it. And now I can run that query again, and then I have my results here. I can also make changes to this query. So maybe I don't care about this parameter or this column. So I removed it, and then I can rerun it again. I can also save this query. So I made changes. Maybe I want to save it, or maybe I want to save it as a new query because now I've made changes. Maybe I've added a section. Maybe I want to see what my top console user is. So I just add this in here, and then now rerun it, and I have that column added here. I can make all sorts of fun changes. I can even add my own or a different one. Systems. Assigned a user. And I can now rerun that query. I probably mistyped something. Let's see. Is assigned. There we go. To user. There we go. So I've added this as part of the SQL query, or WQL query. So now I've added this comment. This one is not assigned to a user. So I can now save this query as, and I can come back to Config Manager, refresh, and now I have this, and I can make changes if I need to. Maybe user, and is it assigned or something? Whatever I want to name it, and I can still modify it like any other query. Great for just copying queries, saving it as, making modifications, and you can just run it really quickly instead of kind of going into here, seeing the results, going back out and rerunning it, things like that. So that's all I have for the right-click tools today. Thank you everyone for joining, and we have a few housekeeping items left.
Indeed. Thank you, Courtney.
Welcome.
One more poll question here. Would you like to find out more about how Right-Click Tools Enterprise surfaces up-to-the-minute device information? Let us know yes or no here. While I give a second, John, do you mind sharing the answer to this question verbally here too? I know Jim chimed in asking, is the Recast Academy mostly based on enterprise tools, or would it be helpful for a community user? Can you explain that answer for everybody?
Sure. So the Recast Academy, yes, it does kind of focus on the enterprise tools. However, for those that may not have them, you got the chance to see them in action and get to know more of them. But at the same time, it'll include a lot of the actions that are in enterprise are still available in community. However, they can only be done on single devices versus multiple devices or collections. And so you can still gain knowledge and insight out of leveraging that Recast Academy. And you could use part of that to say, hey, maybe I really do need these tools, and present that to your management or even to get more information on it.
Yeah, thank you, John. So a bit of a both and. You can learn more about the community tools while learning more about the enterprise tools as well, which could be valuable. All right. Reminder before we sign off today, watch your emails. We'll be drawing the winner for the $100 gift card soon. We'll also send a copy of this recording at the same time. With that, thank you again, John and Courtney, for being with us today. Thank you all for attending, and we'll be in touch about upcoming coffee break topics soon. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a great day, everyone.